Are you interested in Simon? Go up to Simon, say hello.
Is Britain's most famous street also its most haunted? Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. This week I've landed us right in the middle of a great British institution. Generations have settled down with this flagship soap opera for nearly half a century, but behind the scenes cast and crew are worried. Someone allegedly haunts here, and today Most Haunted sets out on an extra special investigation to hopefully meet and greet the lost souls who still reside on Coronation Street. This, however, is about more than just one cobbled street. We're here to investigate every corner of this Manchester-based set. Sorry to shatter any illusions, but these facades are just that. Although the interior sets do lie just a few hundred yards away, and both are said to host energies from the near and distant past. And if we are to fully investigate what goes on here, then two particular people are only too happy to help solve the mysteries that surround their workplace. While Sue Cleaver has been a street regular for 5 years, Simon Gregson has been part and parcel of Weatherfield life since way back in 1989. Both are here today and intent on helping us in our quest for the truth.
Well, this is certainly a different location, Coronation Street, but the amazing thing is that this location has actually only been here for about 20 years, but there are so many reported sightings of ghosts on this site, not only on the street here, but also actually in the studios.
This is without doubt the most famous pub in the country. In fact, it's just a small set inside a massive studio. Many of the country's most famous stars and famous characters from the street have drank and sampled Betty's Hot Pot over this bar. But this bar is famous for another reason that millions of people are unaware of as they tune in each week. It is, in fact, haunted.
Just across the road was the Church of St John's, and I've actually found a plaque in the park which states that on that site were buried over 22,000 bodies in the graveyard, and they most definitely stretched over here onto the site where Granada Studios are now.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Most Haunted, and so is my family, and I just jumped at the chance to come and have a go. I'd say I'm open-minded, although I haven't seen anything myself. I've heard that Corrie people have seen a lot of stuff over the years. I mean, it's now you look at it, we're outside and it's a great atmosphere and bright, but I can tell you that when you're filming late at night, sometimes when you're walking down the cobbles, it's quite a spooky place, so I'm going to be really interested to be spending a whole night here.
As well as dark shadows, many actors have been touched and actually pushed behind the bar area.
From what I know, stage one near where the Rovers bar is, the Rovers Return, that is apparently the place where most sightings are. So I think to be in there and then maybe hold a seance in there or a table tip thing in there, I personally think that's where the most energy is going to be and the most activity is going to be, is in there, I think.
I think Coronation Street is possibly haunted. What haunted is, I'm not sure. I mean, I hope I get to see something tonight, but there's been so many people over the years seeing the same things and feeling the same things, and, there's got to be something in it. And we'll hopefully find out tonight.
Here by the Scene Dock Door area, many people get the feeling that they're being watched. They've also seen the ghostly figure of a woman with long brown hair, and she wears a navy jacket. She's also been seen sitting in sofas around the different sets. Who is she? And what is haunting Britain's favourite soap?
I've watched pretty much every single one of Most Haunted, so yeah, I'm really excited and slightly nervous at the same time, but I'm really excited. I just hope that something goes on.
You know, if one could just come up to me, stand there and say, hello, I'm a ghost Sue, nice to meet you, then yay, I'll go home happy.
So we'll need to look back far further than this land's quarter-of-a-century association with television studios. And as well as the horrific vision of treading on what was once a massive cemetery, the active interest of 2 crew members also intrigues parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe. Now, Kieran, this has to be the most unusual place we've ever investigated.
You're right. As a crew, Most Haunted investigate a huge variety of places, castles, theatres, and now we're in the set of the most well-known TV programme in the country. It's just amazing.
Could some of the phenomena that's being experienced here now because of the fact that the set is actually built on top of a graveyard?
Yes, certainly. We know that this set has only been here for a limited period of time and that there's a graveyard with over 22,000 bodies beneath us. And so there's a possibility that if any spirit activity occurs, if the mediums pick up any sort of feelings, it may not be an association with the street. It might actually be with the graveyard. The interesting thing about this location is that it's familiar with everybody at home watching. They've all seen Rover's Return, they've seen Coronation Street, but for us it's the first time here. And with the lights down and just us being here in a different sort of setting, i.e. investigating a haunted location, it'll have different psychological issues.
Now, we've got 2 actors joining us tonight. We've got Simon and we've got Sue. I would imagine it's going to be very difficult for them because they're joining us on their turf, on their territory, a place that they come to on a regular basis. So I want something to happen for them because I don't want them to go away going, well, nothing happened. It was really boring.
Yeah. Them being involved in the investigation is going to make it quite interesting because, like you say, they're going to be very, very comfortable with the environment. This is where they work here almost every single day. But I wonder how things will change when the lights go down. Are they ever in this location when the lights aren't on? And we know from our experience that it kind of changes the atmosphere of a place. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 of them do react quite nervously to what's going on and, like you say, hopefully something will happen to them.
By day, a seemingly innocuous maze of false doors and walls. But are there elements here that we cannot see? Can David Wells or Gordon Smith hint at why so many, cast and crew, have reported paranormal phenomena here? It may well have told household tales for several decades, but is Coronation Street really a realm for the ghosts of those that either lived, loved or died here?
There's one astral that comes to me almost immediately, and it's a male figure. He's an older male. He's not hard to age him. I think maybe in his 50s. Now he either died here of a heart attack, or he died here of an accident, because he seems like he worked here. And he's an attention grabber. He's one of these. He's not a huge chain. He's a nubger. He's a over here type things. Focusing around the bar, maybe behind the bar bottles, the odd clink.
Right.
I mean, you might say in a place like this, it's such an odd place, you're gonna hear noise all the time.
How long ago are we talking that this man was around?
It's not that long ago. Maybe the figure I'm getting is only like 10 years or so.
Right.
And
Maybe.
he worked here, you said?
Yeah, it feels like he worked here.
What, as a member of crew?
Yeah, as a member of crew. Very friendly. He's not a nasty man in any way. And a nice. And when he's doing this, he's almost like saying he wanted to be discovered. He wanted to be. When I say he died alone, it's you think of in your flat with your cats eating your toes. Not that kind of die alone. Died and then was suddenly discovered. There was no one there to hold his hand, and I think he might be searching for someone to hold his hand.
Did he
still.
actually die here?
I don't know if he died here, but he comes back here. But it seems like a condition that he wants to be here because he wants people to know when he died, and that he still thinks of them. And he seems to follow these guys around.
Right.
Seems to possibly follow these.
How old would you say he was when he died?
I think it's hard. Around 40, 50 maybe maximum.
Right. So somebody that died 10 years ago, around 40, 50, that was a crew member here.
Yeah.
No sense of what he did on the cruise. So.
Well, I could say technical, but I guess that's them all, isn't it, really?
Not down anymore.
Maybe as we go around, usually what happens, you get very quick first impressions, and then as you go around with me, details will fill themselves in.
The names and faces that we see each week are of course just a fraction of those that put their lives into entertaining the nation. Yet how profound an effect can this building have on those who work here? And how would they choose to grab our attention?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the was that?
A street and set that needs little introduction. But why are Most Haunted investigating Coronation Street? The reason is very real, as paranormal phenomena has been reported here for many years. So much so that current cast members Sue Cleaver and Simon Gregson have willingly volunteered to help our endeavours to solve who may be responsible. Medium David Wells has already sensed an austere male who worked at these Manchester studios in a technical role. And his visit to one particular behind-the-scenes area would also reveal some astounding sensory information.
The only thing I have in here is, again, our male friend from the other place. And it seems to be, again, this taking of the hand or this touching. And it's gentle, it is very gentle, even if it doesn't matter if it's a child or an adult. Maybe a sensation of someone really close to them. And it's a case of, it's almost like come with me, you know, come and find me.
Right.
Come with me, you know, sort of thing. So what I'm trying to say is, he died around tea time. And he comes here at tea time to say, come and get me.
That's spooky.
Go on.
Well, it's just that one of the crew here had an experience of sleeping in here, and she wasn't. She was sitting up. Sorry, she was sitting up in here, and someone just came and tapped her on the shoulder and said something like, "It's 5:25."
Yeah, 5:30 is what I would have gone for.
Oh, that is spooky.
So, a hint at the man who regularly scares staff with his early evening time check. But is he our only contender as the ghost of Coronation Street? Studio 2's gallery was to suddenly offer an unexpected youthful presence.
The only thing I'm getting is ghostly children. 2 of tapping. This. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Just knock you over. Bit of this. Bit of chair moving.
Right.
Bit of. Maybe even a bit of ear flicking. But nothing.
Well, that's a lot.
Well, yeah, it is a bit, but very intermittent. It's not a regular thing.
What era are they from?
They are probably Victorian.
How old?
Kids are probably young, 5, 6.
Girl, boy?
1 of each.
Perhaps another link to the families that once lived around here, long before Coronation Street had even hit our screens. And whilst its local pub may be happy to host the likes of Eileen Grimshaw and Steve MacDonald, does spiritualist medium Gordon Smith feel any other souls frequent here?
funny thing of it is I don't honestly feel anything really sort of ghostly or, you know, nothing visual comes to my mind when I come sort of behind the bar here. I get the sense of maybe people having felt somebody sort of step close to them, or I even get the sense of sound, somebody breathing, or I do feel as though people have sensed energies around here.
Right.
But I don't actually get any visuals. I don't see anybody. I honestly don't.
Right, okay.
I don't get any sense of spirit, or it's just more kind of activity. It's like an atmosphere that I feel.
So when you say people feel breathing or someone really close to them, it's not a spirit?
No, I don't feel that's a spirit. I feel that's just, again, to me, like a sort of ghostly energy, just like some sort of residue.
With Gordon sensing just a residual presence here, we move on to a nearby area that he feels replays this land's varied past.
I do get a very strong sense of different people here, nothing to do with Coronation Street. I feel as though this goes back in time.
Right.
And I do feel as though there's much more activity here, ghostly activity.
What sort of things?
I get a sense of people huddled together in one moment. It's almost like seeing people all sitting together and huddled in a place. I don't think they died there or anything like that, but that's again picking up memory of this particular area and something that runs in different directions underneath here. This, I feel as though it could go off in different tunnels or something. And the bizarre sort of vision that just keeps flashing into my mind is an American airman.
An American airman?
For whatever reason, just a guy in uniform, but I feel American.
Right.
I don't think he's haunting it on purpose to frighten people, but I feel as though his memory is connected to not this spot, but certainly there's something that runs here. And I do feel as though it's quite a, at times I feel quite a heavy energy. I would actually get the sense that people have been disturbed walking about here and turn to, you know, even catch a glimpse, because that's the way I'd seen it in my mind, like the man appearing and disappearing. Which again is something.
I mean, do you want to describe how people feel?
Just that people, several people have said that this back corridor feels quite oppressive. That there's somebody watching them, but it's interesting that you pick up on uniform and it's the same period and.
This part of Manchester was the unfortunate victim of bombing attacks during World War II, and the tunnels that Gordon has described could well be the underground chambers that sheltered Mancunians in times of danger. But in an area where pretence is always played out, were we in any real danger? Studio 2 may contain its fair share of interior sets, but Gordon's attention was honed on just one area, a seemingly empty and lifeless corridor.
Again, I get a lot of people being haunted, being frightened. Here, people being touched, or the sense of being watched. I do get a very eerie sense, and it's just this corridor and all the way along. There's a sense of somebody being, just somebody's watching me, somebody's here. That kind of feeling, as though you just feel that you're not alone coming down here.
So what presence would be here?
That I can't even tell you who the presence is at the moment, but I do get a strong sense of somebody around me here, as if somebody's watching over me. I would think this would be quite a good place to work.
That was clutchy pills. Clutchy pills.
There was a lot of tail clutching there.
Where did that come from?
It's plaster on the lights, isn't it?
Yeah, but that one.
The ceiling,
Maybe.
Without knowing where it's coming from, because did it come from the light?
Nothing dropped there.
Cool down, or
The camera thing dropped.
Might be cooling down, eh?
But these lights weren't on
They're
before.
not
That's a
on.
good point. I don't know.
Be interesting to sit around here, because
It's
it feels,
you.
I think it's me. Everywhere I go, things get thrown at people.
I know. Right, so we'll have to come back in here.
Yeah, I would think this would be a good place for a video.
do you think the activity is quite frequent down here, or do you think it's more of an intense thing?
I don't think anything's overly, you know, so there's nothing that frequent, I don't think, about anywhere, but if I had to pick a spot between here and the place where I get the sense of the sort of tunnels and things, that drew me and this drew me.
those
Yeah,
two
I
areas.
believe that it's so easy to say that a big place, I mean, if somebody's walking on their own, feels haunted. But I do feel as though there have been people who have this, worse than just the sense of something there. It's almost that look around because they feel they're being watched, and that's what I feel.
Okay, so this
In
is
this
definitely
area.
an area
Yeah.
to come back to.
Here and the other place I thought were the two strongest.
Right, okay. So seances,
Yeah.
Ouija and all that sort of stuff in these two
To
areas.
see what you could pick up here. Yeah.
Okay, great. What do you think to that then?
Yeah.
Speak, don't you? Always now.
Bring it on.
This for me is the most spookiest place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
How would you feel coming down here on your own then?
I'll give it a whirl.
Would you?
Yeah.
With
not
a-
for very
on your
long,
own?
though.
With a night vision camera on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe with someone else.
No! You changed it.
Yeah,
now.
go on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Gordon sensing another possible link to this area's wartime past, we agree that this place has to be explored later on in the night. But to allay Simon's obvious fears, we commence our night vision investigations with two simultaneous vigils. Studio One's Rover's Return interior may usually just contend with idle gossip and family affairs, but tonight this particular set hosts Richard, Carl, Kath and Stuart, who hope that table tipping will help to entice paranormal activity. And just a few feet away, Sue, Simon and I look on as both David and Gordon offer protection and try to channel more information about the man who still roams this workplace.
I'm actually getting the sense of somebody getting
It's a man, isn't
close.
it?
Yeah, there's a male here, but it's very, again, same person. I had a visual of it earlier. This man must have passed over kind of unexpected. There's a kind of quickness to his passing. All right, come on. Just went into the spirit world. It's as though he never got to finish things. It's as though there was unfinished business among family. And this is the feeling that I'm getting with him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's cancer or something.
Yeah.
The one I've got is belonging to the building, and I want to, with my hands, I want to make things. I want to build things with a set or hammer
Yeah.
nails in, you know.
Is there anybody here? Are there any spirit people present here, please? If there's a yeah, if there's a gentleman present here, please can you come forward?
Oh my god, it's
It is.
Why is that
moving.
moving?
That end, it's not this
oh.
Yeah.
Now I can.
Oh,
I
it's
feel like my fingers are
weird.
shaking,
It
but they're
is.
not. The table's moving.
I can
Shakes the
feel the
bottom.
vibration.
Yeah.
It's like a heavy pulse or
It is.
something.
It is. Oh my god.
Like a throbbing.
Yeah.
It tastes like a throbbing, but is it me that's throbbing? Is it?
No, it's the table.
The table's moving next door.
I just get tables moving all over the place.
Did you love working here?
What's he doing? I can't do it. I could not do it. Look. No, just only like that. This is good. This is amazing. This is very good. Don't go. Stay with us, mate. Keep going, mate. Look.
Did you feel like a family when you worked here?
My feet are here.
Keep talking to him, Cat.
Is this a good thing that we're doing here? please move the table if it's not a good thing?
Shall we? I think for Stuart's sake, but it's hard to hear. Mate, if you can do that. This is shades of Bob and this isn't Bob. Yeah.
Is there anybody who wants to come and talk to us? We're not here to cause any harm. We work here every day. It's like home to us. I've gone really cold, am I?
Some of the sensory details given here are accurate, but due to the nature and sensitivity of them, we have purposely bleeped some information and will do so for the remainder of this investigation. And based on the dramatic movements of this rover's return table, our final few hours on Coronation Street were to prove full of fright and fear.
I don't know whether it's me frightening myself or there is actually something here.
Welcome back to Weatherfield, where Simon Gregson and Sue Cleaver have swapped their respective roles in the street for those of paranormal investigators. Both have seen and heard some pretty weird things within these walls. But what would happen now that our earlier séance appears to have stirred any astrals present? So while Sue seeks safety in the children's room along with David, Gordon and myself, Simon heads into the same long and lonely corridor that had earlier scared us all. And with David also sensing a youthful presence in here, Simon's script couldn't have been written any better.
Okay, I'm in the corridor now.
I'm really worried. I don't think this range and this walkie-talkie is going to work.
Where are they?
It's just Simon on his own, isn't it?
It's just Simon all on
Where's
his
he
own.
gone?
He's gone to Studio 2.
No, where?
Oh dear.
I'm going to go and sit down on the chair where the activity is supposed to be. That chair is supposed to spin round.
Calling out for any spirit person here in this room. Oh, poor Simon. Can you hear me, Simon? Simon, can you hear me?
I don't know whether it's me frightening myself or there is actually something here. Gee. That was me, that was my tool.
Well, poor bugger, I know what it's like, and there's nothing worse than feeling completely on your own. I bet he's been really brave and gone ahead with it.
I am so frightened right now. I've just walked down through the corridor right to the end and then through the other door. Walked back. Haven't heard anything as yet, but flipping heck, I don't know whether it's me frightening myself, but the shivers running up my entire body is frightening.
Well, we're with you. We're all listening to you. We're sitting in the children's room and it's very quiet in here.
Don't forget to start calling out. Get yourself settled and start calling out, yeah?
Okay.
Oh, bless his heart.
I really don't know how long I'm going to last in here because if I start getting really frightened, I'm going to have to do the boot big time. God, I wish there was somebody with me. This is frightening. there's a certain area in this corridor where you can really feel it.
He's trapping himself.
What she doesn't know is that I ain't gonna stand there, no chance. Wow. It's like there's a full rush coming up through your body. Is there anybody here? Please make a noise. Move something. Throw something.
Simon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You okay?
I'm alright. I'm a little frightened, to say the least, but yeah, I don't know whether I'm frightening myself here, you know?
Oh, bless him.
Shitting bastard. Are there 2 children in here? There was some noises. Excuse, sorry?
Do you want Sue to come and join you?
Yeah, bring her over. I've just heard some noises.
What sort of noises?
It sounded like it was coming from above me. I don't know whether there's a floor above here. I think there is. It was when I called out to see if there were any children here. And there were noises, but they were upstairs, like above me.
Apparently there is
The floor above you.
I ain't going up there.
Somehow, Sue decides to take leave of her senses and also makes her way along Coronation Street and into this same massive building. And en route, she passes the hollow shells that make up some of Britain's most recognisable homes, a place that John, Ian and programme editor Matt were about to find rather perplexing.
Well, this is like Blair Witch, isn't it?
This is a film set. This is a film set.
Well, it's the inside of the houses, isn't it? So this is all. We can basically walk the length of the street and all the houses.
Which houses are in?
All of them. We can. You'll see. We're going from.
Walks right through them all.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's gone really cold.
No, man, this is
It's gone really cold.
It's only in here. I walked up to that door and went through there and then came back in here. And as I got to around about this spot, I got so cold. And it sounds weird, but I felt as though there was people here and people here. And I walked straight through them as if they were all stood in a line. And I went, shit, I just had to keep on walking. This way.
What's significant about these?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know they have been built from reclaimed bricks from Salford, which ties in with the theory that Richard...
Yeah, residual energy, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the f*** was that?
It's the lens cover, it's that. It rubs against the side of my... It just brushed against me.
Oh, man.
Is there anybody there? I've got one. It's just gone right the way across the chair. I'm absolutely positive, Simon.
Where?
It's gone right the way across my lens there. Just where look at my thing, where that chair is. It's just gone right the way across.
See, what I thought I saw earlier was near the other chair.
God, I so hope I'm not imagining this, Simon.
What's out the back? Yeah, more junk.
What the... What was that then? You both heard that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone chucked something or something on the road.
What the...
Please come out. We're not scary. Well, Simon might be.
Shall I go and sit on that chair?
No, don't leave me here.
You'll be alright here. I'll go go and sit on that chair.
You sit on that one.
No, you stay there. Okay, I'm going to go and sit on the chair where Sue thinks she's seen an orb. I could have sworn I saw something when I was here on my own around about here.
Simon.
What?
Oh, there's another one! Another one!
I think something's being thrown from over there, and I don't know. I've got a feeling something's around there, and I mean it.
What, around there?
Yeah.
What?
Listen, I was outside, Matt was outside, you were about to come through that door.
And I had both hands on the camera.
He honestly did, because I looked back and then I heard it and he had both his hands.
That is really weird.
I've got chills all over.
Well, you just got a light anomaly going past you as well.
Did you?
Are you interested in Simon? Go up to Simon and say hello.
It sounded as if it was definitely behind us. That was just, as we were going out. It came from right near the windows. You know where the lights are. Where we were sat before. That was where it was coming from.
Well, that was. I'll tell you what. That wasn't something dropping. That wasn't.
That was thrown.
That was thrown.
How you doing?
We're okay. Sue thinks she may have caught some orbs on her camera, which is pretty good. So we're just going to have a look, walk around the studio, and then we'll come back and have a look and see whether she has.
By their own admission, both Simon and in turn Sue may have helped to heap a few tricks on their own minds. But these light anomalies are as clear to see as the fear on these two faces. But what else awaited our team as we prepare to return to the Rovers?
Hello? You're shitting me. You're absolutely shitting me.
Coronation Street's fictitious base is actually a Manchester set split between two interior studios, and this, the cobbled exterior set that greets millions of viewers each week. And now our investigation had attracted its fair share of interested onlookers from within this soap opera's very own team, with both directors and scriptwriters amongst those eager to sample the street's early hours activity. So whilst Carl explores the back alleyways of the exterior set, three such onlookers join Gordon, Richard and Sue in Studio 1.
Is there anybody there who wants to communicate? Come on, friend, can you make a noise and just let us know you're here?
Well, I've just been through the Rover's return. I thought I saw something in the window, but there's nothing in there. It could have been my eyesight, I guess. I'm just. Doesn't seem quite ominous down there, doesn't it?
Come on, Spirit, we really want to help you. If you do need our help, please let us know. If you want us to help you, give us a sign, some kind of sign, and we'll stay. Friend, if you would like us to go, do you want to give us a sign?
Oh my God.
Would you lean against them?
No, that's what I mean. Would you?
No.
Okay, it just moving behind us.
I've heard that.
There we go. Look, that's the back end, the back sort of. I know all these places like this. They're all backyards. And I have to admit, they look so different in the at night. These
really weird. You can't. Shit, what was that? Hello? Hello? You're shitting me. You're absolutely shitting me. Right, who's around? Come on. Shit. Is there anyone here? Me? Oh shit. Fuck. The fuck? Right, now how can I prove there's no one around? There's no one here, there's no one there. Hello? You're shitting me. You're absolutely shitting me.
Are you who I think you are and who I sense that you are, friend? Okay. Then I'll tell them later. Would you have enjoyed this tonight if you were here with us physically? Yeah, you would have, wouldn't you? You've done some kind of paranormal things, haven't you?
You know who it is.
Yeah.
We feel you here.
And you've other people have felt your presence here, haven't they? And they've seen you or they've sensed you.
Still coming.
Yeah. Don't worry. Okay, friend, we're going to leave you be. And you're happy now, aren't you?
It later transpired that the gentle soul that Gordon was channeling was one of this soap opera's biggest names, a lady whose turbulent on-screen image often mirrored her own life, one which was taken from her in 1986. And that disbelief that the paths of Most Haunted and Coronation Street have crossed still seems a little surreal. But what have we learned? Certainly that there is more to this street than initially meets the eye. So have we identified who causes the phenomena that has stunned studio staff for several years? Is it a former crew or cast member, or even energies that stretch back to the times when this area suffered World War II attacks? And after appearing to contact and communicate with at least one astral inside these two studios, why did the exterior set then offer two separate outbursts of what initially appeared to be poltergeist activity?
An absolutely awesome 24 hours at Coronation Street. I mean, it's a programme that I've grown up with from the very first programme, unfortunately, and to actually just be there is amazing. Never mind the amount of paranormal activity that goes on there.
The Most Haunted Crew's investigation of Coronation Street was an absolutely fantastic evening. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was such an unusual location to investigate. Carl was actually conducting a lone vigil, and he witnessed a barrel moving towards him. Now, possible explanations for this, there are very, very few, because this is a very heavy object, and it's the sort of thing that could not easily be dislodged from just somebody walking into an area. We can't discount the possibility that maybe with heavy traffic in a particular area or a lorry moving through in another part of the studio, that might have dislodged this barrel. But I'm even cynical of my explanations because of the size of the object. I think it's a very difficult one to try and explain away. John, Ian and Matt conducted a vigil in the area of the Rover's Return. They were exiting Rover's Return into a backyard, and they heard an object hit something.
What the? What was that then? Did you both heard that then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we know that it's not one of those three that were actually on the vigil, but what are the alternative explanations for what's going on?
That is really weird.
We can't discount the possibility that the object could have come from another area of the set although what we can be sure of is we can account for everybody on the Most Haunted crew and where they were at the time, and none of them were near that area.
To be on the set of Coronation Street with Sue and Simon, to me was great, and also to have the ghosts, the spirits of whoever haunted that place, to come out for us as they did on that night was absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
A name that the nation holds dear to its heart, and whilst its portrayal of everyday life may be an act, those who haunt this land may well be real. So until next time on Most Haunted, sleep tight.
Well, the next Most Haunted Live is coming up soon, the 9th, 10th and 11th of December. If you'd like to be in the audience, go to the website at livingtv.co.uk/Most Haunted Live for details. Next, we return to Manchester and Carl's in for a fright round the back of the Rovers' return. It's in Most Haunted Extra here in just a moment.